Color Purple by Alice Walker.
Alice Walker was an author and a civil rights activist. She was born February 9th, 1944, and she was born in Eatonton, Georgia. She grew up poor and was the eighth child of some poor sharecroppers, and then she began reading and writing poetry as an escape from judgment and lack of confidence she felt whenever she would interact with people in public. Um, she attended Sarah Lawrence College and Spelman College, and whenever she attended there, she finished as a teacher, and then she married a Jewish lawyer named Melvin Leventhal, and then had a daughter, then ended up divorcing him 9 years later. She's won the Pulitzer and National Book Award prizes, along with the O. Henry Award and the Mahmoud Darwish Literary Prize for Fiction. She was inducted into the California Hall of Fame in 2006 and also received the Lennon Ono Peace Award in 2010.
This is my favorite part of the passage is because it pretty much shows where she was and how down bad she was, and it's pretty much a success story. It talks about how before she went to Master's house, how she was this big time singer, but she kind of just fell off. And now she's kind of getting back into the singing world. Now she's at Harpo's and she's putting on shows for people and making money for herself and for her family. So this is my favorite part because it's pretty much a positive little life story, and it pretty much shows you that no matter what you go through, you can pretty much, if you keep going hard and staying fast and staying faithful and staying true to yourself, you can get past anything. So that's why it's my favorite.
I like my quote because this is the first time that Celie really stands up to Mister, and she and Sophia and Mary Agnes, or Squeak, and Suge Avery are all ganging up on the guys like, we do what we want, you guys are not in control of us. And so I just like that for the girl power aspect, but also because Celie was just very like cowardly, and she had no courage and was very scared early in her life. But this is the time where we see her really be a woman and like stand up for herself and say, "Yeah, I'm leaving."
I chose my favorite quote because it was at the point of Cilly's life where she was kind of down and didn't know what she wanted to do in her life, and she was missing her sister a lot. And then she got the letter from Nettie telling her that she's been sending her letters her whole life, and that her husband just hasn't been sending them to her. And it's like a point at her life where she becomes happy again and realizes that her family's still out there.
In The Color Purple by Alice Walker, the theme was resilience. No matter what came Celie's way, she didn't lose hope that someday she would see her sister again. Celie was molested, put into a marriage against her will, and told that she was nothing, and yet she still carried on. Every setback she had to go through made her victories as precious as they were. Being abused verbally and physically would make some women cower to a man for life, but Celie got to the point where she could stand up for herself toward the end. Suge Avery had a lot to do with Celie's transformation, but so did Sophia and Mister's kids. Each one taught her what the presence of love can do and how it gives you strength. Harpo became a better man when Sophia didn't conform to his beatings whenever she fought him back. Also, Suge taught Celie not to act scared all the time and to stand up to Mister. Sophia showed Celie what a strong woman could do and how unbreakable she was. In the end, Celie found her happiness, and she was resilient because she didn't give up in believing in Nettie's existence. And in the final scene, Nettie and the kids come back to the house, and Celie had said all along that she knew in her soul that they would return, and so she just kept believing even though everybody's like, they're dead, they're dead. The Color Purple is a classic novel set in the South in the early 1900s. This narrative encompasses love, hurt, and typical treatment of black women at the time. Kate Walker writes this novel in the form of letters to God that the main character Celie makes through the ups and downs of her chaotic life. Celie can never seem to get the upper hand, but eventually her unfortunate circumstances prove to have been a blessing in disguise. Over the course of the book, Celie finds her happiness and purpose.